research is medicine's field of dreams, from which we harvest the findings that give hope to families that a cure can be found for the disease which has been running through their family's history. That's what it's all about. That's what we all hope for. That's what I represent in Boston, in Kendall Square, 2 miles from my house. And I've been for 47 years in Congress trying to help that industry to be able to grow and to be able to get the resources from NIH, other resources to make the breakthroughs, to give hope to ordinary families, like my father who drove a truck for the Hood Milk Company. And the companies have done great work over the years, but that funding, which I was on the health committee in the House for 36 and a half years, and I fought very hard for NIH funding, and those NIH dollars delivered results. For example, between 2010 and 2016, every drug approved by the FDA was in some way based on biomedical research funded by the NIH. And my father, the truck driver at the Hood Milk Company, 1 mile from Kendall Square, he paid his taxes to make sure that the funding would go to NIH so that the research could be made in order to make the breakthroughs that would help him and help his families. And Merck's former president, and you've already quoted him, Mr. Davis, he said, "We never try to forget that medicine is for the people." You know, my father. It is not for the profits. And Merck's website states that this philosophy is embraced by their leaders and the employees to this day. So FDA approved the cancer drug Keytruda in 2014 based on NIH research that my father helped to pay for as a truck driver at the Hood Milk Company. And last year, the list price was $191,000 for this cancer drug that helps patients with lung cancer and other cancers, $191,000 a year. And the annual meeting and proxy statement 2023 says that it brought in $21 billion in revenue for the company, and it was driving key growth for Merck's business. And at the same time, patients are also straining under insurance premiums, struggling to afford this drug, taking on debt, or skipping treatments altogether. So Merck has now filed 168 patents on this cancer drug, Keytruda. And as we know from this earlier discussion, you know, when we discuss this, we can be talking about primary patents or secondary patents. And what I heard earlier was that the witnesses in general just want all the secondary patents to also be exhausted. Now, to a very large extent, of course, 168 patents then bring at least 168 lawyers into the room. You know, how do we use this patent in order to thwart another smaller company, hundreds of smaller companies, from now making the breakthroughs that advance even further, the breakthroughs? Innovating, discovering. 168 new patents extend further, using lawyers, you know, the time at which there can be a lower price drug made available to people so that they can get the treatment which they need for lung cancer. So, yeah, we believe in competition. And we really believe in competition in Massachusetts. We believe in Darwinian, paranoia-inducing competition. But when there's a monopoly on a drug, which is the key drug, there is no competition. There is no paranoia if 168 patents just extend and extend the ability to have new companies, smaller companies, smarter, new scientists to make the new additional breakthroughs. And that's the play. We understand the play. That's how lawyers get into it, not scientists. The lawyers keep the smarter, new 25-year-old out with the new insight, just by extending and extending. So I do believe in research. Adam Smith hated monopolies. It was the number one thing he hated the most, monopolies. And so in this particular instance, my father died from lung cancer. And my father drove a truck. So the list price for Keytruda is more than his entire pension. That's what he got from the Hood Milk Company. So 1 year of his entire pension would have paid for 1 year. And he died from lung cancer. And I don't think that George Merck really intended that would be what the result of research ultimately did. So, Mr. Davis, would it have been consistent with George Merck's philosophy to take research funded by my father's tax dollars to invent a life-saving lung cancer drug, charge him hundreds of thousands of dollars of his hard-earned retirement for it, manipulate the market, using patent law to block out competition that could have brought in new scientists that could have improved it and lowered the cost, and as a result, the costs are unaffordable, and then use the income you got from him to brag to your investors about the drug as a key growth area for your business. Do you think that's what George Merck intended when he had that high-minded philosophy, which he used to describe Merck's?
In 17 seconds.
Are you looking for the answer now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would say the quote was, "Medicine is for the patients, not for the profits." But so long as we've remembered that, the profits have always followed. And what he was capturing was, if you focus on bringing new medicines to benefit patients today and make sure you have an investment and a return to bring medicines for the future, which we are a biopharmaceutical research company, research is who we are, innovation is the lifeblood of our company, then we can deliver for the mission to the patients. And I can tell you at Merck, and I'm very proud of this, we always put patients at the center. And we always look at ways to do that. And that will continue to be what we do. So I do think actually what we're doing is consistent because it allows us to be sustainable for the long term, to deliver for patients into the future.
I just
Thank you very
I just think it's turned into medicine for the shareholders and not medicine for the people like my father.
That's the last line of questioning.